Downtown Milwaukee, overcast skies and threat of rain, so the roof will be closed tonight here at Miller Park as Comcast Sportsnet brings you Chicago Cubs baseball. It's the first of a three-game Mother's Day weekend series. The Cubs just dropped 3 of 4 in St. Louis. And great to have you with us, Jim DeShays and Len Casper. We just saw the Brewers, actually their only series win of the season. They took 2 of 3 against the Cubs last weekend, but Ron Roenicke lost his job after a dismal start for Milwaukee, and they have hired 44-year-old Craig Counsell to manage.
Yeah, not a big surprise that Ron Roenicke, one, got fired because they really tanked at the end of last year as well, and no surprise really that Craig Counsell was the guy who got the job. As a player, everybody thought he might ultimately end up in that manager's seat, a hard-nosed player, a grinder, always prepared, so he kind of fits the profile. And a good story in that he's a local guy too, from Whitefish Bay High School just up the road. His dad worked for the Brewers. He played for the Brewers on 2 different occasions.
And one of the latest guys to get the job without a lot of previous experience.
It's kind of a new paradigm in baseball, Len. These guys, having not managed, even in the minor leagues, getting big league managerial jobs. Ausmus, Matheny, Ventura, there's a whole bunch of them.
All right, the pitching matchup is a rematch from Sunday. Jimmy Nelson for the Brewers and Jason Hamill for the Cubs. Each got a no decision. Hamill has never lost in his career to the Brewers.
Yeah, 5-0 lifetime in 7 starts against the Brewers. He's 3-0 in this ballpark. He pitched here twice last year, and both of those outings pitched 7 innings of shutout baseball.
Well, the Cubs had been hot. They rattled off 5 out of 6, but they've been a little cold here the last week, including that series loss to Milwaukee. They've dropped now 5 of their last 6. We'll have the series opener, Cubs and Brew Crew, next.
Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. AT&T Uverse. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT, mobilizing your world. Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com.
The tailgating capital of the world, or at least of Major League Baseball. We don't mean that you drive really close to the car in front of you. I like to camp out early in the parking lot here, put various meat on the grill. But we're inside tonight. It's warm outside, but it looks like we might get some rain. As Matt Caesar will exchange the lineup card with Craig Counsell. The new Brewers skipper. They're 2-2 under Counsell after Ron Renneke was fired following that series last weekend, and the Brewers wearing their Friday throwbacks. That iconic ball and glove logo dating back to the late 70s.
Sharing a moment there at home plate. I think Caesar left the scrum a little early.
I want to do the before and after shot, JD, like you sometimes see with U.S. presidents. Craig Counsell has always looked like he's about 19 years old. He's 44, as I mentioned. But we might see a few gray hairs and maybe a couple of wrinkles over the next few years as a manager.
Absolutely. Yep, it takes its toll. Absolutely. And he's kind of an intense guy, too. It's always the challenge. It's always the question when the guy starts his managerial career. Obviously, you have to know the game. You have to be able to command the clubhouse, have the respect of your players. But just how well do you handle the rigors, the highs and lows? But he seems to be the kind of guy that should be really good at the job.
Yep. And we want to welcome those viewers expecting to see the Reds and the White Sox. They are in a rain delay on the south side of Chicago. Here's the Cubs Southwest starting lineup. Dexter Fowler back in there. Didn't start yesterday. Chris Bryant hitting second. Anthony Rizzo, Miguel Montero, and Jorge Soler 3 through 5. Starlin Castro's at short. Chris Coughlin is in left. Jason Hamill, look at that, 14 trips to the plate and has not struck out yet. Addison Russell in that 9 spot as per usual.
And we'll take a look at the Brewers defensively. Chris Davis is going to be the left fielder. Carlos Gomez is a little nicked up, so Gerardo Parra is the center fielder. That's not a bad plan B. He's a Gold Glover, made a couple great plays in that series last weekend in Chicago. Ryan Braun in right. Ramos Ramirez, Gene Segura, Scooter Gennett. He's back in there. He came off the DL on Tuesday. Adam Lynn is at first. Martin Maldonado does the catching, and the Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher for the Brewers tonight is right-hander Jimmy Nelson. He's 1-2 of the 403 through 5 starts. And here's the oddity about Jimmy Nelson. This is his 6th start, and he's only faced 3 teams. And he went back-to-back with Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and now the Cubs.
Bruce Breckman, the veteran, will get home plate. Tom Hallion's the crew chief. He's at first. Alfonso Marquez at second, and Chicago native Dan Bellino over at third. And if tonight's Cubs leadoff man gets a hit, Binny's Beverage Depot will donate $100 to Make-A-Wish, Illinois. And it is Fowler against Nelson. And we're underway.
Ouch. Maldonado might have whiffed on that one.
Get it out of the way early. I think the Brewers should go back to these uniforms full time. This is the iconic Brewer look. Makes you think of Jim Gantner and Gorman Thomas. That ball driven deep to right center. Way back for Fowler and gone. And $100 to Make-A-Wish, Illinois via Binny's Beverage Depot.
Wow, what a swing of the bat that was for Dexter Fowler. We talked so much about his approach at the plate, how he's willing to take pitches, work walks, hit the ball the other way, but every now and then he's going to drop this on you. Here's our Ford home run replay, a little low fastball, and he got that low ball in the air and gave it a long ride.
He's talking with his manager today. Said really want to get Dexter going, and I guess prescient words from the manager as Chris Bryant gets a foul pop back to the seats. It's always a good start, right? The leadoff home run.
Yeah, that works
for the team that hits it.
Yeah, that's nice little ambush right there.
The 10th time Fowler has led off a game with a home run. The 0-1 to Chris Bryant misses. It's 1-1. By the way, Ramos Ramirez is not in their lineup. There must have been a very late change. Elian Herrera is playing third. That's right.
Well, Ramos has played one of the 3 games in Chicago last weekend. It's clearly not a Ramos.
Looks like he's in Ramirez's spot in the lineup.
Boy, I hope so. Make a whole new scorecard. What, did he have a hamstring last weekend, Ramos?
Yes.
Kind of barking a little bit.
First 2 games of that series. Deep count, which is nothing new for Bryant. Foul tip, strike 3. No, I think Herrera's actually hitting 8.
Oh, no. Well, it's a game of adjustments. We're just going to have to adjust. And there's a 95-mile-an-hour fastball from Jimmy Nelson. And so it's a right by Bryant.
Here's Anthony Rizzo. And a called strike. Tried the sneak attack there against the shift with only Gene Segura on the other side of second base.
Now he has to work the 2-strike count, see if he can come back. That's his approach, to see how quiet the legs are. And Joe Madden, we've talked about this a lot. Madden continues to talk about it, how good his 2-strike approach is. Jimmy Nelson, fastball, curveball, slider change. The curveball is new for him. Developed it this spring. And it's become maybe his best secondary pitch. Got good life on the fastball. You see sitting comfortably, 94, 95. Throws 4 seamers and 2 seamers with a little sinking action. It's a fair number of outs on the ground.
Ball gets
I think
away.
Rizzo's arguing that the ball hit him.
And Rizzo's saying it hit him in the foot. So Joe may ask for a replay here. But first he wants to talk with Bruce Dreckman. And ideally he would ask the other umpires before Joe has to use a challenge, right? Did anybody else see it?
Anybody else see it? I don't know. They're looking at the replay in the video room here for the Cubs to see if they have a better look. And Davey Martinez says, no, we don't. Let's come on back.
back to the mound, and Nelson will run it halfway over. Two outs.
He had that shot in the Cubs dugout, and Chris Bosio was motioning to look at the ball. The guy's wearing the black shoes with black shoe polish. You'd see the shoe polish on the ball, and that would help press your case. Riz is wearing blue shoes. They have blue shoe polish? I mean, I don't even know if the shoes these guys are wearing are shoes that you would polish.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Not sure what they got going on here.
I'm going to guess no.
That doesn't look like a polishable shoe.
It doesn't. A strike called on Montero. 423 over his last 8 games. Yeah,
it's more of a cloth upper.
Yeah, they're more like athletic shoes as opposed to the baseball cleats you used to see.
But I think, you know, we get in the heat of a pennant race, it's time to start putting some polish on your shoes, regardless of the material. You don't want to give up that advantage.
Kind of a big league thing to be able to put polish on your shoes.
Yes.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Nelson 6'6", 245, born in Oregon, went to high school in Niceville, Florida, and then the University of Alabama. 2nd round pick, 2010.
Yeah, high expectations for Nelson. He's been among their top prospects for a couple of years now. Last year was really good at AAA Nashville, and then got a chance at the big league level. Did not perform all that well here. It's not uncommon.
Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Couple of Ks in the first inning. The Dexter Fowler on the 2nd pitch of the ball game took it up and out, and the Cubs lead 1-0. Milwaukee coming up. Written out by their new manager, Craig Counsell, in his 5th game. Segura, Jeanette, Braun at the top. Lind has been their hottest hitter. Davis and Parra in the middle. Maldonado, Herrera in for the scratched Aramis Ramirez, and Jimmy Nelson batting 9th. Milwaukee 15th in the National League. That's last in batting average, .223.
Defensively, the Cubs set up shop this way tonight. Coghlan, Fowler, Soler left to right, 3rd to 1st. Bryant, Castro, Russell, Rizzo. Miguel Montero does the catching, and Alexis pursuing perfection. Starting pitcher for the Cubs is big right-hander Jason Hamill.
Had a cracked fingernail during his last start, which was against Milwaukee on Sunday at Wrigley Field. He went 6 Gave up 3. Got a no decision.
League bats .252 against him, and note just the 2 walks in 31 1/3 innings of work.
You know how you hear the term he's a professional hitter? You say that a lot, right?
Yeah.
Could we say Jason Hamill's a professional pitcher?
Professional pitcher.
Nothing he throws really wows you. He's been doing this for a long time. Good veteran presence in the clubhouse. Fair ball. Bryant rather cannot get Segura, and that'll be an infield hit.
Yeah, and I need to go on the line already, but it seems to me that the Cubs have been victimized by just a lot of soft hits, bloopers, infield hits. There was a lot of it in that series against the Cardinals, and here we go again. A little ground ball to third base turns into a base hit for Gene Segura.
Well, not good to see him having success against the Cubs, but it is good to see Segura back on the field, and he only missed 1 game for that beating at Wrigley Field on Sunday.
Pedro Strop got him right on the emblem in the batting helmet.
The second time he's been hit in the head or the face by a pitch this year. And Scooter Gennett, who was on the disabled list when we saw the Brewers last weekend. This is his 4th game back. And a left hand laceration. Ground ball. Bryant to Russell, to Rizzo. They go around the horn, 5-4 to 3.
Yeah, that's a combination I think that Craig Counsell would like to play a little hit and run with if you got a little deeper into the counts. Bryant was in at third base anticipating a possible bunt. Looks like Gennett actually tried to steer the ball through the hole on that side, but right to Bryant. He gets it started. Russell with the turn. Campbell with the applause. Boom, boom, boom. Double play.
And now it is Ryan Braun. And 1 hit in that series. It was a game-winning 2-run homer on Saturday. And 1 for 12.
Jason shaking his head after that errant curveball. Primarily a fastball slider pitcher, but there are some games where he'll mix in more curveballs and the occasional changeup.
Just to go back to my point about a professional pitcher. Jason's not a guy you would consider a top of the rotation guy, but he's not a guy you'd consider necessarily a bottom of the rotation. He fits really nicely right in the middle. You'd match him up with just about any 3 or 4 in baseball. And you need guys like that to win.
Yeah, and for a stretch of starts, he could pitch like an ace. He did last year in his time with the Cubs. He was quite good for a long time.
And ball 4 to Braun.
That being just the 3rd walk he has issued this year. He came into this game with a whip, a walks plus hits per innings pitched of 1.02. That was 12th best in the National League.
One of the 2 Cubs starting pitchers. Grew up in the state of Washington, along with John Lester. Here's Adam Lind. He's from Indiana. Coming off back-to-back 2-hit games, each including 2 RBIs and a home run versus the Dodgers. And good numbers against Hamill.
Well, he's off to a very good start. Has an OPS up over 1,000. There's just a handful of players in the league that can make that claim. There's one of them, number 44 there.
And line the other way. Coghlan will pick it up. Braun trying to make third, and he will, as Coghlan will fire it to Russell at second. So 2-out rally here. After the double play ball, the walk and the single, and it'll bring up Chris Davis.
Aggressive base running by Braun, going first to third on that base hit to the left. I think a good decision by Coghlan. He was tempted and might have had a shot at Braun at third base, but of course the risk in trying to make that throw is you might allow Lynn to move up into scoring position. There's already 2 outs in the inning.
Strike called on Davis. Snapped an 0 for 18 yesterday.
Very low batting average. He has plenty of power, but he's only hit 1 home run this year. But you have to respect his power. He does not get cheated. See?
Right on cue. I mentioned they're hitting .223 as a team. That's last in the National League. Getting on base at a .277 clip. That's last. Second to last in earned run average, 4.75. 12th in fielding percentage. And a ground ball base hit into center. Braun will score, and we're tied. So that innocent looking walk to Ryan Braun, little did we know that that would lead to the tying run. 2 singles later, it's 1-1.
Talk about Davis and his big swing. This time he's willing to cut it down a little bit and stay on that slider. It wasn't a bad pitch. He's down outer part of the plate and down a little bit. Pings it right back through the middle. That'll make the hitting coach happy.
Still awaiting word on why Aramis was scratched from the Brewers lineup.
He just had a case of hamelitis.
One and one on Parra.
Parra's had a fair bit of success against Jason Hamill.
Another base hit. This time to left. Here comes the throw to the plate. They're going to get him by a mile. And Lind is out. Aggressive send there by Ed Cedar. The only worry there was that Montero would panic and drop the ball.
That was one of those 2 outs. Let's take a shot. Hopefully they make an errant throw. We can steal a run. If he had a timeout, he would have used it.
1-1 after 1. Jimmy Nelson ready to work against Jorge Soler, who swings and misses. 1-1 tie. Different ways to get a run. Cubs got one on a home run 2 pitches into the game from Dexter Fowler. Milwaukee ended up with 4 hits and a walk of Jason Hamill, who could only get 1. Soler off to a good start here in the month of May, batting .400.
Ouch. So Nelson making his 2nd consecutive start against the Cubs. This is the trend. How about that? 2 in a row against Pittsburgh. Very good the first time. Decent, but a loss the second time against the Reds. Really good. And then in Cincinnati, really struggled. That's his one really bad start of the year. And then last time out in Chicago, solid. And we'll see how it plays out here tonight.
2-for-1 special to start the season. Swing and a miss on a fastball at 94 for strike 3. Now he has struck out 3 of the first 5 hitters.
Yeah, the rematch games, if you will, the second part of those previous 2 duets were both on the road. Here he's back in his home ballpark where he's been outstanding so far. He allowed 1 run here in his previous 2 starts.
Starlin Castro really quiet with the bat here lately. 4 for his last 25. Hitting 6th in the lineup and a strike call. News out of Cardinals camp. They're in Pittsburgh this weekend without Matt Carpenter, who has been diagnosed with extreme fatigue. Remember, he left the game Sunday. This past Sunday against the Pirates in St. Louis due to some lightheadedness. But he's had an accelerated heart rate, and some dizziness, some dehydration, and he did not make the trip. So they're expecting him to rejoin the Cardinals on Tuesday when they're in Cleveland.
You know, I thought when we saw him that he looked really skinny, for lack of a better word. He's never been a big guy, but I wouldn't be surprised to find out that he's dropped a bunch of weight. Still playing at an unbelievably high level. Watch out.
That hit the bat, which is fortunate, I think. Even though he would have gotten first base out of it, you don't want to break a finger.
Nelson's got very good stuff tonight. The fastball is really crisp. He's got a lot of run on it and very dangerous when it's up around the head. Yeah. Luckily able to get the hand out of the way.
Swing and a miss. A really good slider from Jimmy Nelson. Sunday night, tune in to CSN Chicago for a brand new episode of Beer Money. Watch the most exciting sports trivia show on television where fans get to test their knowledge and try to win big. Starting at 7 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Chris Coughlin. One more sartorial comment, if I may.
Yes.
And I'm done for the night. Can I claim Martin Maldonado is the most stylishly dressed catcher in the big leagues? He's got those gray shin guards on the road, and I like the color combo back there tonight.
Yeah, I don't like his gray one so much. I like this though. Reminds me of the Madrid Waddington Yellow Jackets.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. He's not afraid to do his own thing. I like that. Swing and a miss.
Right.
Well, Nelson gave up that leadoff homer, but since then he has fanned 5 out of 6, I should say, and strikes out the side here in the second. Bob Uecker must be in the front row, which is actually in the back row. In our Xfinity high-speed action, he and his partner Joe Block, Ken Sommerfeld, their fine engineer, they got locked into their radio booth. The doorknob fell off. This was the other night against the Dodgers. That's Mary Burns on the right. I guess she got a little nervous. And wouldn't you be nervous? She got locked into a booth with Bob Uecker. So they got the ladder out.
And, wouldn't it have been better if you just started climbing down the ladder?
They had fun with it. Took them an hour and a half, I guess, to get out. And there they are tonight. Just a bit outside.
I think Peter Graves must have been the model for the Uecker statue up there.
Good call. Cut and a miss by Maldonado.
It's more Peter Graves. They should have put a hat and some shades on him.
Yep. His portrayal of Harry Doyle in the Major League trilogy, or did they make 4 of them? I kind of lost track
where they
after
ended
2.
Up, yeah.
It was one of the funnier things that I've seen in the movies, and that's all Bob. I think they basically told him, "You do what you do." It was a little blue at times, which is very out of character for him.
Yeah.
Who cares? Nobody's listening anyway.
His bits back in the day when he'd go on Carson.
He was Johnny's most frequent guest. Herrera runs to Russell. Bring up Nelson with 2 outs.
Well, don't know much about Nelson as a hitter, but you know this: anybody with a bat in their hand can be dangerous. That was proven again yesterday when John Lackey delivered a 2-run double down the right field line, and just kind of a swing that was about 3 seconds too late, and hit it right down the first base line and drove in 2.
Some choking up on the bat. It's 1-2. Choke and poke. I did that a lot when I was in Pony League.
That was the 2-strike approach,
yep.
Right? Choke up and poke it the other way. Take 2 and go to right.
Full count with Segura on deck.
We're trying to pick away at that outside corner now. He'll be willing to throw it right over the heart of the plate.
Ball strike 3. They go down in order in the second. We're tied at 1. Excitement this season at Wrigley Field. The Cubs return home this Monday night for the start of a 7-gamer. The Mets and the Pirates will come in. Tickets are still available for every game. Get your tickets at Cubs.com. A portion of the bleachers will open as well.
That's some good facial hair right there.
A 1-1 tie is Hamill, Russell, and Fowler will face Jimmy Nelson, who has struck out 5 here early on. Hamill, he's been Placido Polanco, Juan Pierre, Jeff Keppinger. Been a good contact guy here early on. Let's see if that continues. Yep. Base hit left field. 5 out of 14. And that's his 15th plate appearance, and he still has not struck out.
And I would say pitchers in the National League probably strike out at about a 50% clip. Probably. We can look it up. Just the magic wand. He just waves it through there. Leg kick. Double tap. Little toe tap. You can set that to music. He's getting fancy.
Russell comes in with a 10-game hitting streak. Fly ball out into shallow center. And it's Gerardo Parra to make the catch. So let's see. I don't have plate appearances, but I have at bats for pitchers.
I've got
wide. Do you have plate appearances?
No, but I got a strikeout rate. League average just a little under 40%, just under 39%.
So it's about double everybody else.
Yeah, and I wasn't giving pitchers enough credit. I was thinking about 50% of the time.
Fowler takes a strike. Switch hitter, he does take BP. Generally, same amount of swings from each side of the plate. So it might get tweaked depending on how he's feeling that particular day. But I saw him take some swings right-handed, even though he starts the game batting lefty.
You almost have to treat it like two different players. And that guy, that right-handed Fowler's got to get his swings every day too.
Lind will get Hamill, and that's it. An ideal result. At least you got Fowler running instead of Hamill for Chris Bryant.
Yeah, and you know, at the end of the day, this may benefit the Cubs because if Fowler steals second base, you'd much rather have him out there in scoring position than Jason Hamill. It means he has to steal second base. Among their many woes, the long ball has been an issue. I like this kid's upside, though. I think he's going to be a good one. He gets a lot of swings and misses. Now that he's got that curveball, he's going to even generate more swings and misses.
Bryant has not had a ton of great pitches to hit, but when he has seen, quote, his pitch, he obviously hasn't gotten all of one as of yet. Clearly, it's the longest home run drought of his life. He's doing everything else well. Getting on base, running the bases.
Yeah, and I think, sometimes you watch his at bats, and I think he's kind of just trying to guess along with the pitcher. He's been seeing a lot of breaking balls, and I think there's been some fastballs that he hasn't pulled the trigger on. That once he's got a little more time in the league, we'll see him be a little bit more aggressive on some of these fastballs.
Well, he's got enough plate appearances now to qualify among the league leaders, and he's in the top 4 in on base percentage. He struck out 3 times, walked once yesterday, fanned in his first at bat tonight. So 4 games of at least 3 strikeouts out of 19 total, but he has walked 17 times in those 19 games. Swing and a miss. 1-2. His manager thinks he just needs that first home run and he can relax a little bit. And as he said, they seem to come in bunches. Fowler runs, swing and a miss, inning over. And Maldonado does not even have to make a throw. And that is strikeout number 6 already for Nelson. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. It's the Cubs 1 and the Brewers 1.
Prevention awareness. This Monday, all fans in the Budweiser bleachers will receive a Cubs Charities Pink Out t-shirt presented by Advocate Healthcare. Cub players will wear pink batting practice jerseys. Those will be auctioned off to raise money for mammograms for underinsured and uninsured women. For more information, visit CubsCharities.com.
Segura sends one in the air out to right center where Fowler is standing by. I got a couple of good tweets here. Gavin Welker checks in, asking about Jason Hamill's batting average versus his on-base percentage. Why is his batting average higher than his OBP? He's right now 357, but his OBP is 333. It's because he has hit a sac fly, which counts against your on-base percentage, but not against your average. So it is possible to finish a season or a career with a higher average than you're on base. Jace Jenkins also asked why the innings pitched you see 0.1 or 0.2 as opposed to 0.3 or 0.7, which is actually more accurate. And I think the reason is just simplicity. 3 outs in an inning, so it's either a whole number, 0.1, 0.2. It's just simple. I've seen it 0.3, 0.7 on occasion. A couple of different websites. So a third of an inning should be 0.333 of an inning, right?
Yep.
0.1. It's a quirk of baseball. 2 outs.
Fractions. That
yes.
was very good on the graphic.
1/3, 2/3. Yep. Long walk with 2 outs in the first inning and later scored on the Chris Davis RBI single. Ball 1.
It's been low. It's on the plate. That's the adjustment Hamill's made since that first inning when he was getting hit around a little bit and gotten back on top. He's getting that fastball down in the zone.
Curve that time. 2-0. Roof closed, panels open. The flag's not doing anything, so there does not appear to be any sort of wind factor. I don't think he's thrown him a strike yet. He walked on 4 pitches his first time up.
I suspect Braun would be free to swing here on 3-0 with 2 outs. We'll never know. Pitching carefully to Braun. He's the guy with a big resume on this club, but Adam Lynn's a pretty good hitter too, and he's having a much better year. Lynn leads the Brewers in just about everything right now.
Way up in the air, shallow center. And it's Fowler to end the inning. We head off to the 4th from Milwaukee. And it's a 1-1 tie. In any press box in baseball right there. Patrick Mooney, and you can follow our Cubs Insider all season long on Comcast Sportsnet, brought to you by Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. Visit Jeff at jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side. Breaking ball from Nelson to Rizzo for a strike.
Yeah, it's a pretty good salad that Patrick's rocking there, isn't it?
Indeed. Rizzo was depositing balls into the upper deck in right. And I think he just did it again. I was talking about batting practice. Way gone. Two to one.
Speaking of prescient, good call. Well, he's been on a bit of a power surge here lately. He's been really good all year long in terms of the approach at the plate, working his walks, hitting for average, and the power has been on display here of late. This is a no-doubter. A weird night for Nelson, dominant with the strikeouts, but he's made a couple of mistakes, and the Cubs have made him pay. First Fowler, now Rizzo. There's your Ford home run replay, and that's a gorgeous uppercut swing that he has.
Fair ball for Montero. Racing to second, and he's in with a standing double. Good start to the fourth.
Boy, if you could bottle this swing, huh? I mean, this is just a thing of beauty. Here it is from overhead. It looked like Maldonado was reaching back for another ball from the home plate umpire. That's Rizzo made contact.
That's right. Well, he was hitting balls around 5:30 today, making loud noises off the bleachers that were empty at the time. Runner at second, nobody out, and low and outside to Soler. Rizzo has now hit 6, and half of those have been on this road trip. By the way, they have rained out officially, postponed that game in Chicago. Reds and White Sox will play a double dip tomorrow. Inside to Jorge, or Georgie, as his manager calls him. Three and one.
Loud noise by Rizzo. Outfield double by Montero, and all of a sudden Nelson a little gun shy of the strike zone.
High deep drive to center. Parra going back. Still back. It's gone. Two-run blast for Soler, and it's 4-1.
Hurry up and review the Ford home run replay. They're coming in bunches tonight. Third long ball of the night. Soler, a towering home run. Just a little right of dead center field. There you go. 3-1. Looked like a fastball, maybe a little cutter. That's a strong man to hit it that high, that far.
Cut and a miss by Castro. Number 3 on the year for Soler. Actually, the first 2 came in the same game in Cincinnati or at Wrigley against Cincinnati on April 13th. Leak and Diaz. So it had been a while.
Yeah, we expect the Cubs to be a team that hits a lot of home runs this year. And they came into this game with 21. Tied for 10th in the league. So, by the time all is said and done, they'll be among the league leaders in that category.
Still buzzing in that Soler blast.
So the league average allowed is 25. The Brewers have now allowed 45 long balls.
Two and two.
And coming into the start, Nelson had allowed just one. We talked in the outset about what a good ground ball pitcher he has been.
Well, you can't always count on hitting a ton of home runs, but when you do, it sure makes life easier for everybody. Swing and a miss. He got him. The slider.
Starlin's really been out of whack here lately. See how much he's drifting towards the third base dugout. He's got no chance to get to that slider.
Real happy at the moment.
He's got to get back into just trying to stay on the ball, hit it hard the other way. Once that starts to happen, then generally good things develop from there.
Wind in the 1-0. He's outside. No problem for Parra. Hamill doesn't have enough plate appearances to qualify for the batting title. But he is hitting .357. They do have a silver slugger for the pitcher, though. He's on the early leaderboard, slugging .429. Chop foul to Gary Jones. Nicely done. And Cup fan going home with a souvenir.
Well, there's no way she wasn't getting that ball. Young kid, Cub shirt, pink cast. Atta girl. Nelson struck out the side in the second, just 12 pitches, worked a little harder in the first. Weird night, as I said, because his stuff is really good. He's just made some mistakes, and the Cubs are jumping.
Hamill strikes out for the first time this season, with Rizzo and Soler making a lot of noise. Leadoff homer by Rizzo is sixth. 2 batters later, Soler with number 3. 4-1. Our AT&T Uverse multi-view. The Cubs home run hitters here early on. They have tied their season high with 3. Hit 3 at Colorado on April 11th. Hit 3 more versus Cincinnati 2 days later. Both of those games were wins. In fact, the Cubs have only lost 1 time when they've hit at least 2 home runs. 5-1 on the year. The word on Aramis Ramirez, scratched late with lower back stiffness. That's why he's out of the Brewers lineup. Jonathan Lucroy is still on the DL. Carlos Gomez not in there tonight. Strained right hip. So they're 9-20, and they're not fully healthy either. Swing and a miss, right 3.
Is that right by him?
On Saturday, May 16th, the Cubs will host the Pirates at 3:05, and the first 20,000 fans in attendance get a reusable tote bag presented by the MLB Network. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. Darn it, I was hoping there was a picture of Dan Plesac on there.
You don't even have to pledge to get your tote bag. So what was it, your factoid? If the Cubs hit 2 home runs, they're 5-1?
Yes. They hit 3, they're 2-0.
The Brewers are 0-9 when Gerardo Parra starts in center field.
0-9?
0-9. That's more to do with the fact that means Gomez isn't in the lineup. It's such a valuable piece for them. And it was an indictment on Gerardo Parra. But those 2 factoids alone, the combination of those 2, I mean, it's a slam dunk.
2-1 to Parra, who has been hot as of late. Well, apparently it hasn't mattered. He's actually been good in the pinch, but he's hitting .400 for his last 11. He bounces one toward the middle, right behind the bag. Castro fields, and he gets him by half a step. Maldonado, the catcher.
So Craig Counsell gets named the manager last weekend. His very first game is against the Dodgers and Clayton Kershaw. That's not exactly a soft landing. The Brewers won that one.
Came back late.
Yeah. So there was the requisite. Yeah, we've got a different energy, a different spark. We've got an edge now after that win from the players. Seems kind of silly. 1 game in. A heck of a win against one of the better teams in all of baseball, against the best pitcher in all of baseball.
An alum of Notre Dame. Mentioned he's from here in Milwaukee. Played for a bunch of different teams, and the Marlins and Diamondbacks 97 and 01. How about being a big part of 2 game-winning rallies in the final half inning of Game 7 of the World Series?
Yeah, he's a tremendous defensive player. Didn't do a whole lot offensively, but gave you a tough at bat. Hit for a decent average, but very little power. Again, one of those guys who didn't play every day, always made a contribution. Smart guy. Figured he'd end up either managing or running a club from the front office.
NLCS MVP in 2001. Remember a series. One time, a 3-game series, he started at second, short, third. He was versatile. Very bright guy. There were some who speculated he might be the GM and not the manager, as he was working alongside Doug Melvin. think he was doing reports on their AA club and he got hired. He still hasn't turned them in. He said that's low on the priority list.
But that's when Doug Melvin was asked about the hiring, he said one of the reasons he really liked Counsell, aside from all the things we've talked about, is the fact that he has been in the organization working alongside of Melvin for 3 years, knows their system very well. So as young players come to the big leagues, he'll have a pretty good idea of what they're capable of, and there'll already be a relationship there.
So, is there a thread with this trend? Ventura, Feeney, Ausmus, Counsell, that if you surround yourself with experienced guys to help you with the in-game stuff, that it's more about kind of the rest of the stuff? Yeah,
I think there's I haven't hired any of these guys, but I'm guessing yes, that's a lot of it. Let's get guys who have automatic credibility in the clubhouse because they've had good playing careers.
Talk more about it as we continue, as Jason Hamill has a 4-1 lead into the fifth. Battle these Brewers in Game 2, and our coverage starts at 5:30 right here on CSN Chicago. Jimmy Nelson has had a very strange night. He has struck out 8, and he's given up 3 home runs. Faces Addison Russell. I talked to Addison today. He went to 0 major league ballparks as a kid, as a fan. First time he was inside a major league park was in the Under Armour All-Star game in high school at Wrigley Field. So this is a very new experience for him. All these road trips to St. Louis, Milwaukee. I envy him because he's 21, he's in the big leagues, but I also envy him walking into these parks for the first time.
Yeah,
because
he's young and
nothing like that, right?
Young and kind of innocent. Stay gold, pony boy.
1-1.
Yeah, every trip, every new ballpark is a brand new experience.
I'll never forget walking into Tiger Stadium for the first time when I was a very young kid. And nothing replaces that first memory of walking through that tunnel, seeing the green grass, and then the grandstand for the first time.
Yeah, the video they play at Wrigley before each game, Bill Murray talks about that. The first time coming to Wrigley, for me, it was Jerry Park in Montreal. It's the greenest green you've ever seen.
So finish up the thought about former players without a lot of managerial experience. I think number one, part of it is it's hard. Ryan Sandberg is a huge exception to the rule. Kudos to Rhino for managing for what, 6 years in the minor leagues before he got the Phillies job. Swing and a miss from number 9 for Nelson. But unlike 20-30 years ago, JD, any player who's had any sort of big league time has all the money he's probably ever going to need. So if you're a guy with 10 years in the big leagues, why do you want to tell your wife, you made $72 million, I'm going to go manage in single A ball while I've got 2 kids who are 9 and 10 at home? That's very difficult to do.
Especially without a promise. It's one thing if they say, go down there and then just ride the buses for a year or two, and then we'll bring you back in some capacity, whether we feel like you're ready to manage or put you on a big league staff or bump you upstairs to guys who've made a lot of money in the game. It's going to be rare for them to buy into that going forward. Now that doesn't mean you have to have guys with big, former major league players with long careers. But I think there are some GMs now that see a lot of value in that. New managers don't have to earn the respect of their players because of their playing careers. And you think about so many of the great managers, a lot of them had very little, if any, major league experience as a player.
Now in the case of Joe Madden and a lot of other guys, Jim Leyland would be in that picture. They couldn't have done that. And Joe admits it, because he didn't have the gravitas as a player. He never got to the big leagues. Joe's what, 60? What do you say, 60 is the new 40? He spent 31 years in the Angels organization. He was at the big league level at the very end as a coach, but he really paid his dues. He's at double digits, 10 strikeouts for Jimmy Nelson.
Every one of them has been swinging. He hasn't walked anybody. But you just look at that. You see a guy's working in the 5th inning. He's got 10 punch-outs and no walks. You say, well, does he have a no-hitter going? Or do they scratch out a single? Cubs have hit 3 home runs.
Slider in the dirt, low and outside.
Yeah, I think the quote Leland had about Craig Counsell was, when I became a big league manager, I had to earn the respect of the players. A guy like Counsell, he's going to have to lose the respect of the players. He kind of has it going in. Yeah. You can lose it if you go in there and you're kind of a nut job. You're going to lose their respect.
Broken bat roller to Jeanette. 1-2-3 5th. The second such inning for Nelson, but he's trailing 4-1 midway in the 5th. Thanks, Cap. Hamilton Nelson. Is that a hologram or something? That kind of funky MB fluorescent blue behind the mound. I can't see it from up here, but maybe. Oh, it's actually in chalk. Thought it was maybe some TV trick. It was conveniently placed right behind the pitcher's rubber where we can't see it from our perch upstairs. Maybe it's frosted.
A little fondant.
Would that be bad form for an opposing pitcher to just walk up and step on it?
Probably, but be tempted, wouldn't you? This season at Wrigley Field, the Cubs will feature Budweiser Bleacher Fridays on select dates throughout the season. Budweiser Bleacher Fridays will include pregame entertainment. One's going to be out there juggling, as a matter of fact, at some point. Exclusive giveaway items, special food and beverages, and more. For more information and to buy your Budweiser Bleacher tickets, visit Cubs.com.
My juggling maximum of any object is 2. I haven't quite graduated to 3 just yet. Hamill with 5 punch outs. We've seen 15 whiffs collectively, only in the 5th inning.
Chris Coughlin made a big play, throwing out Adam Lind to end the 1st inning at home, and Hamill took over from there. Thanks for the lift, boys. Right back to doing what he typically does against this Brewer team. 5-0 lifetime against them in 7 starts with a 2.20. 3-0 in this ballpark with a 1.35 ERA. 14 scoreless innings over 2 starts here last year.
Segura strikes out and then gives Montero a hug.
You know you're off balance when you almost fall down. I guess he was just trying to get out of the way. A little embrace and on his way back to the dugout.
Jeanette, whose injury took 5 stitches, left hand laceration, a shower mishap, reaching for the body wash, cut his hand on the shower rack. The visitors clubhouse at PNC Park. It's bad luck.
Speaking of which, I had a shower mishap today. The hotel. So you know how the hotel has the kind of the overhead rain showery thing.
Yeah.
And then the wand that's attached to the.
Yes.
And so I stepped in there just to get it started. I turned it on. It was on wand mode. It just blasted me right in the face.
Sorry to hear that.
Thought I would share.
Okay. But you're okay. I'm good. That's all that matters. Hamill starting a cruise with a 4-1 lead after 5. How do you get to Wrigley Field? The Cubs suggest the use of public transportation, or for bike riders, use the Cubs courtesy bike check located near Clark and Addison. And for drivers, the Cubs provide free parking and shuttle service on night and weekend games from 3900 North Rockwell. For details, it's Cubs.com. Rizzo with a long home run to lead off the fourth inning.
Yeah, we'll have to track down the exit velocity on this one.
Came in with a 10.27 OPS, good for 5th in the National League behind Adrian Gonzalez, Paul Goldschmidt, Jock Peterson, and Brewers first baseman tonight, Adam Lind. Hey, I got to add a name to the early MVP race in the National League after this 0-2. Bounce towards second. Backhanded play, nicely done by Herrera. That'll go 5-3 in the shift. D. Gordon going into action tonight, batting a major league leading .437. He has 52 hits in his first 28 games. He hasn't even homered yet, JD, and he's slugging .521.
Yeah, he's an unbelievable. He's batting .509 in his home ballpark.
He's with the Marlins now, and they're following up that career year last year with the Dodgers, getting off to a great start in Miami.
Stolen 12 bases. Pretty good.
Strikeout and a double for Montero.
Alex Cobb done for the year. Tommy John surgery. Add him to a growing list. Put together a pretty good rotation of pitchers who are out for the year. Didn't miss by much. Homer Bailey's done. Yu Darvish, of course. Sausages are getting ready.
Yep. 2-1 on Montero. So the Mets, will see them for 4 starting Monday at Wrigley Field. David Wright has some back issues, delaying his return from the DL. He went to the shelf on April 15th with a sprained hamstring, and Dylan G is going to the DL, which means Noah Syndergaard is expected to make his major league debut on Tuesday at Wrigley. How about that?
Well, they're very high on Syndergaard, one of the top pitching prospects in all of baseball. So we'll get a look up close and personal. Matt Harvey's pitching tonight. They got beat 3-1. He was looking to go 6-0, but Cole Hamels bested him this evening.
Syndergaard was in the news for a couple of different issues. Some Twitter flap, and then had the deal in spring training. Didn't David Wright kind of air him out? And the media heard it because he was in the clubhouse eating during a game, and the captain said, "You should be on the bench." Lined, and that's caught.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, I just know there's been some issues with him. Sometimes it takes a while for young guys to figure it out.
And he hit a long home run in his last minor league start. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, I should look before I speak. We're going to see Harvey, right, Wednesday. We should see DeGrom
Bartolo. Didn't say
Colon,
Bartolo the other
Syndergaard.
day.
Might be the 4 we see in that series. Well, they may move Colon up to Sunday. And DeGrom also may pitch Monday. So I think, yeah, because they had an off day, I think they'll probably go Colon. So it'll be DeGrom, Syndergaard, Harvey, Neese in the 4 games. So we could get Syndergaard, Arrieta, Harvey, Hamill, sorry, DeGrom, Lester, Syndergaard, Arrieta, Harvey, Hamill. Not bad to start that series.
Yeah, on LA Law. Harvey Hamill.
It was hairy, but close enough.
Starlin has punched out twice tonight. You've seen the steady diet of these off the plate breaking balls.
Foul near the Cubs dugout.
He doesn't strike out much, Starlin Castro. He swings a lot and he chases a lot of pitches out of the zone, but he's very good at putting the ball in play. That's why Joe Madden likes to play hit and run with him. He wouldn't do it here with 2 outs. Terrell's going.
Popped up, back of short, and it's Segura for out number 3. Sausages will race, and we'll be back for the bottom of the 6th, 4-1.
Cubs, bottom of the 6th. The Cubs baseball summer camps presented by ATI Physical Therapy are back. Give your kids an unforgettable baseball experience this summer. First camp kicks off in Lake Forest on June 22nd. Sign up at cubs.com/camps.
And they're off.
And down the stretch. What if we get Eddie Owen here to handicap this thing for us? Rizzo making a late push. Just edges out Bratwurst.
Brat is the worst runner, no question. Braun.
It was actually a changeup, some kind of a let-up pitch. He just squirted away on Hamill. Still a little unsettling when it's up around your head if you're a hitter. If it's a fastball, he probably doesn't get out of the way.
See A-Rod hit 661 last night.
I heard it on the radio on my drive home.
Yeah.
It was an A-bomb from A-Rod.
He nearly hit one earlier. Delman Young with a home run saving catch.
Well, he had come into that game 5 out of 10 with 3 home runs against Chris Tillman. So obviously sees the ball very well against Tillman.
Yankees leading 5-4 in the bottom of the 7th tonight. Strike 3 called. Yankees won 4-3 last night.
A nice job here by Hamill after walking Braun twice. A little more aggressive with his approach this time, and gets a call just off that inside corner to finish him off. Jason's been quite efficient. This is pitch number 70. And not really surprising, the Brewer team, for the most part, free swingers, don't take a lot of walks.
Shallow left field. Coughlin's there. 2 outs. Blue Jays hitting coach Brooke Jacoby had his 14-game suspension upheld by Major League Baseball. He got into it apparently with Doug Eddings in the tunnel in Boston and was accused of putting his forearms up near Eddings' neck and pinning him against a wall. They've changed things in Boston now, as the visiting team has to wait until the umpire, caught by the fan. I don't know if he was reaching over the railing or not. And Rizzo asking the first base umpire, I think, about that very thing, Tom Hallion.
Joe Madden not coming out.
Yeah.
Look back behind him.
Joe actually is asking Tom Hallion. So it's not fan interference. If the ball is in the stands, a fan can go after it. But they could call it in that circumstance if the fan reaches onto the field of play, and Joe's saying, look, my guy is there, and he's going to catch it.
Yeah, especially if the guy's, in a full-out sprint, you're not sure whether he's going to get in position to make a play or not. You probably don't call it, but if the player's settled under it and the fan reaches over, then it's fan interference.
So is this, it's funny, I guess this is reviewable if they're asking the video guys to look at it.
But I wonder if the video guys have a look that we don't, because we don't have a real good look at it. I don't know if anybody does.
One and one.
You were talking about something.
Brooke Jacoby.
Oh,
yeah, they've changed it now, so the visiting team has to wait till the umpires have exited before they're allowed to. Because
situation.
Yeah, you're just asking for it when you commingle. Jacoby, in a statement released by the team, frustrations escalated, leading into an altercation. I was wrongly accused of contacting an umpire. I am in no way going to apologize for what happened. I feel that the penalties were very biased, harsh, and unfair. So he is sticking to his guns.
Yeah, he's denied laying hands on Eddings throughout this.
So he was suspended Monday. Started to serve the suspension. He appealed. They had the hearing today, and they said, nope, it's going to stick. 14 games. Jeremy Jeffress up in the Milwaukee bullpen.
Well, the coaches don't have a union. So nobody really going to go to bat for Jacoby other than his own organization. I didn't even know coaches could appeal a suspension.
That one hit a ton by Chris Davis, and she's going to go. 4-2 on the Davis home run, his second.
Talked earlier about his home run potential. He really hadn't done much this year, just number 2, but it's in there. Ball jumping pretty good here tonight. All these balls have flown a long way. 4th home run of the night. First by the Brewers. Sits back on that back leg, times it up perfectly. There's your Ford home run replay. Up above the Brewer bullpen. He had 22 home runs last year. Kind of got everybody's attention in 2013 when he hit 11 in only 136 at bats.
Parra downs to Russell to end the inning. 2 RBIs for Milwaukee, both belonging to Chris Davis. RBI single in the first, and a 2-out homer here in the 6th. It's 4-2. Inside Miller Park, Cubs leading 4-2. They went 1-3 in St. Louis. Chance to get back to 2 games over 500. They can hang on to this one as they will bat near the top of the 7th. Dexter Fowler 2 pitches in with a leadoff home run. That was a good start. The Cubs have hit 3 in all tonight.
Cubs lost 2 out of 3 last weekend to the Brewers. The first series win of the year for Milwaukee. Looking to get things turned around. Scuffling here of late. Frustrating series in St. Louis because they probably should have won 3 of the 4 and ended up losing winning just the 1.
So yeah, fan interference is covered under replay. We had not seen one quite like the one we just saw in the last half inning. It was not reviewed. They couldn't get a good shot. One away here in the 7th. So the other night in St. Louis, both managers lost their challenge in the first inning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which means no replay review in that situation could be had until the 7th inning. That would have to be a crew chief review. The one exception is the boundary call. At any point during the game, the crew chief, if it's fuzzy as to whether or not a ball was a home run or not, which is how replay began.
Right, that was a very
that can happen at any time. Crew chief has sole discretion to initiate a review of a potential home run.
Look at this guy hit.
Segura will get him. Hamill 1 for 3 tonight. We laugh, but his prowess at the plate here early on in the season, JD, may buy him another inning down the road on the mound.
Yeah.
I think Joe would give him another inning the way he's swinging the bat.
If you got a halfway decent chance to compete in the batter's box, a manager might leave you in there in a given situation. Expect the Cubs staff to be a pretty good hitting staff. So far they haven't. They're like a buck 104, I think I looked earlier.
Russell's got a 10-gamer on the line. He has flied out and struck out, hitting .343 during this 10-game hit streak.
Travis Wood, of course, expected to lead the way when it comes to pitchers hitting.
Perennial Silver Slugger candidate. And he's good for at least 1 homer per year. Still waiting for that this season. As Russell strikes out and will stretch here in Milwaukee. The Cubs lead the Brewers 4-2.
The bat in the bottom of the 7th. Visit the Cubs Authentics auction page now for your chance to own a game. Use Chris Bryant bat. Jake Arrieta jersey, and more. This week's auction closes Sunday at 8 p.m. Go to Cubs.com/authentics to place your bids. Cubs will donate net proceeds from the sale of Cubs Authentics to Cubs charities.
And our most important question on Twitter tonight. What is your favorite encased meat product at Miller Park? You are eating one of those.
I'm working on a brat. Every time these silly mascots race, it's like Pavlov. Oh, I need to go have a brat.
Yeah, I'm in the brat camp myself. It's the stadium mustard.
Got the remnants of a brat here.
Very nice.
Rally brat.
1-0 to Maldonado is a strike. So 2-run ball game. We're in the 7th. Kind of a heightened sense in the dugout with a 2-run lead late. And so the bullpen is starting to get busy. Backhanded play. Castro. He's got time and he gets Maldonado. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? If this game is 2-0 and the Brewers don't have a hit, there's nobody up in the bullpen, because that's what baseball people do. But because it's 4-2 and he is not flirting with any sort of history, you can get somebody up and it doesn't matter if he sees it or not. It kind of doesn't make sense.
No, and you know, I've heard both schools of thought. I've talked to pitching coaches go, don't ever get anybody up when a guy's pitching a no hitter, and other guys are like, hey, it's a 1-0 ball game, and things can unravel in a hurry. Because if you're the guy on the mound pitching that game, you shouldn't be all that concerned or really aware of what's going on out in the bullpen.
What are you going to do? Blame somebody? Well, you had somebody up.
Yeah.
That's why I gave up 2 hits.
Yeah. You were assuming I was going to give it up. Got a piece of Herrera, so he's going to take a little time here to let the pain subside. Well, the Cardinals pressing on in the bottom of the 9th in Pittsburgh. St. Louis leads the Pirates 8-5. Wong, Peralta, and Holiday have all homered.
Cut and a miss, strike 3.
I believe all of those off starter Francisco Liriano. So he's having kind of a Nelson night. He only allowed 6 hits. He struck out 10, but 6 runs, 5 earned because of the long balls.
Juan Centeno, a catcher, will pinch hit for Nelson. Former Met, left-handed batter. Oh for 8 with 4 strikeouts.
Nelson was really good tonight. 7 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, a walk, 11 strikeouts. Long balls got him. So his trend of giving it up a little bit in the rematch of these back-to-back starts continues to an extent here tonight, but he was not as good tonight as he was in Chicago.
Line to Bryant to end the inning. So Hamill still strong through 7 with a 4-2 advantage. Chicago. The Fire will kick off at home against Real Salt Lake. Live coverage begins at 1:30 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Go! That'd be my call.
What's up with the Real thing? When soccer clubs go with this Real thing.
Yeah, they've had their ups and downs. Couldn't tell you. Tune in at 1:30 tomorrow and find out.
I'm going to look that up. This Prince, we saw him a couple times in the series in Chicago. Pretty tough lefty. Pedro Strop going to start to crank it up, along with Ross Cup out there in the Cubs pen. Smith got a plus fastball, slider, and a curve.
Fowler homered to lead off the game. His choice in the third, a strikeout in the fifth. 3-0-1, rolling outside.
Just 222 so far from this side of the plate. He has not had a lot of at-bats against left-handed pitching. In his career, better from this side, though.
About outfielder Billy McKinney at High A Myrtle Beach. The last 5 games through last night, 10 RBIs. And a game-ending home run in extra innings.
Yeah, McKinney came over with Addison Russell in the deal with the A's last summer. Good bat. Everything I've read about him. Not a guy that has eye-popping tools, but he just can really hit.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Fowler. Chris Bryant is on deck.
Extra for his career, a 298 hitter as a right-handed batter, 258 from the other side. Which is a little bit rare. You know, most switch hitters better from the left side.
Deep to center. Parra going after it. He's going to one-hop the fence. Fowler cruising into second. He's got a double. Never a bad time for some insurance as the Cubs try to tack on late.
Yep, this is one where you definitely go into whatever mode you need to go into to make sure you push this run across. Now, you're not going to ask Chris Bryant to put down a bunt, but if you were to hit the ball on the ground to the right side, you would take it. Not normally, but top of the 8th with the 2-run lead. And Gary Jones talking to Chris Bryant probably about that very thing, you know, giving him his marching orders for this at bat. I wonder if Fowler's ever gone deep from both sides of the plate in the same game. He almost did right there.
I have a practical question here. Because guys do miss signs, obviously the guy at second base isn't going to run over to the third base coach. Why don't more hitters go right to the third base coach in this spot before they bat, like Bryant did? A little more direct line of communication, isn't it? Right. Than to try to figure out what the heck the signs are. There's no rule against it. And that is a pet peeve of Joe Madden, missing signs.
He's one of 30 major league managers that have that pet peeve.
Yeah. Favorite movie, Major League, pet peeve, missing signs.
heard stories of third base coaches getting so frustrated with guys missing signs that they turn their back on the hitter. So they put a sign on, and the guy doesn't get it, or the base runner at first doesn't get it. And then they'll be looking over, kind of giving them, turning the hands over, like, what do we got? And just turn your back on. You're on your own. Just play ball.
Some teams should come up with verbal signs. But means 3-0 green light or whatever, We were in Tempe. I was with Mick Gillespie when Will Ferrell did the cue cards at third. That was fun.
Apparently they're making a baseball card now for Will Ferrell.
Oh, good.
Have his own card.
Old foul.
Smith got away with something there. A little off-speed pitch up in the eyes of Bryant. Just couldn't stay back long enough. A happy little guy.
And Bryant went. Call made by the plate umpire, Bruce Dreckman. 12th strikeout for Brewers pitching tonight. Is Jason Hammond done?
Yeah,
kind of looks like
it. Talking to the manager, yucking it up a little bit. Demeanor would not be that light if he were still in the ball game. He'd be sitting on a bench, kind of digging in mentally for the upcoming inning.
Ball one on Rizzo.
Trying to keep Fowler honest out there at second base. A lot of base stealers feel more comfortable trying to steal third against a left-handed pitcher than a right-handed pitcher. The challenge here, of course, with the left-handed hitter in the box. Aldonado, a real clear throwing lane to third base.
It's over in Pittsburgh. St. Louis 8-5. To send the Cardinals to 22-7. Washington beat Atlanta 9-2. Bryce Harper hit 2 more home runs.
Wow. 3 yesterday, a couple in the upper deck.
I think it was Wednesday.
One of those days.
Yeah, it was Wednesday, but it was their last game. So he is 6 for 8 with 5 home runs and 10 RBIs his last 2 games.
It was baseball yesterday for the Nats.
There he goes. Fowler is going to be safe. The throw was into foul territory. Dexter's got his 8th.
Did not have a great lead. Segura was making sure of that. It was a breaking ball, so that helps a little bit. And then the throw a little bit offline as well. If you're going to get it with 1 out, try to do it early enough where the guy in the batter's box can have a couple pitches to work with to get you home. Infield in.
The kick by Smith, the pitch, and a base hit to right. Rizzo knocks in Fowler. Second hit of the night. RBI number 17 for Rizzo, and it's 5-2.
We're watching something special with this guy. I mean, this is really impressive stuff. And it's nothing new. He did it all last year. But he might even be better this year. Waits out in front a little bit, but watch the hand stay back and then through the zone. Get that breaking ball. Again, he's so close to the plate. That pitch is probably off the plate. But he's still able to go out there, cut it off, and hook it into right field.
Strike to Montero. Yeah, it's the dynamic nature of his offensive game that's the most impressive. He's got all kinds of power, we know that. He's got a great two-strike approach. He can hit lefties. He takes walks.
Yeah. Well,
he can lay down a bunt.
In this at bat, we saw him go down to his back knee trying to hit one 600 feet. Didn't get it, so man on third. Calls for a little different approach. Take a look. It's 2 swings tonight. The home run there on the left, and then the RBI single on the right. Second one required running a little earlier than the first one did. Oh yeah, he's stealing bases too.
Right.
It was probably him dressed up like that chorizo running the sausage race. Chorizo.
Montero strikes out. 2 down. Soler, who has struck out, hit a booming 2-run homer and lined out.
Put the shift on for him, and they'll leave the entire right side of the infield vacant. Lynn holding Rizzo on. And that slides over to the shortstop side of second base.
You mentioned the Mets lost 3-1. Cole Hamels over Matt Harvey. American League Yankees did beat Baltimore 5-4. Dylan Betances now 4-0 in relief. Toronto shut out Boston 7-0. Out.
Message fastball up and in on Soler just to push him off the plate a little bit.
Twins stayed hot. They're 17-13. They beat the Indians 9-3.
We'll see them this year.
Yes, we'll see both those teams. Home and away for the Indians. Cut and a miss, 2-2. Tampa Bay over Texas, a final 8-2. Here it's 5-2 Cubs. 3 homers tonight. Fowler, Rizzo, and Soler. Chris Davis has gone deep for Milwaukee.
Tigers Royals are 5-5 in the ninth. Ventura and Price, the starting pitchers in that game. Neither one of them was particularly good.
Top two teams in the AL Central. And we'll see both of them in interleague play. Full count, 3-2. So Rizzo will go with this pitch.
Oh, there's another guy. Paul Molitor never managed in the minor leagues.
Right? No,
coached in the big leagues for a while.
Yeah. Here goes Rizzo, and Soler strikes out to end the inning. Well, we go to the bottom of the eighth, and the Cubs lead this one 5-2. Cup against Gene Segura, and a strike call. Excellent work from Jason Hamilton.
A little ambush in the first inning. Gave up 4 hits, a walk, and a run, and you thought, uh-oh. And a big play from Coughlin to get out of the inning, and then settled in nicely. Sometimes that's all it takes too, just having a hard time locating early on. Somebody makes a big play behind you.
Russell got him on a close play.
Russell is really quick. Quick feet, quick hands. He loads in a hurry. He's got a very strong arm. This is a guy that played all of 5 games at second base before he came to the big leagues. Segura's selling out, going down the line, trying to get things started for his club. Russell catches him by just a hair.
Jeanette has batted 3 times and responsible for 4 outs. Double play, ground out, fly to right. Late on a fastball that time. 1-1.
This is Zach's second appearance on the road trip. He pitched in the first game in St. Louis, charged with a blown save, allowed 2 hits and a run.
Wood and Loesch tomorrow evening. Now Loesch 1-4 with a 7.01 ERA. Kyle Hendricks and Matt Garza on Mother's Day. Chopper Ross Cup in front of the mound to the out. Yep. 2 days away from Mother's Day, so you haven't ordered those flowers, you better do it quickly.
Well, perhaps you would like MLB.com at bat.
There you go.
Do that, and you can follow the Cubs all season long. At bat is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, statcasts, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or mom's tablet. Some candidates. Cubs baseball, the gift that keeps on giving.
Line shot, right center, to the wall for Braun. Third time he's been on, that's his first hit.
This is his stroke right here. Fastball out away from him. Hits the ball hard the other way. Up for his part. He's got a 3-run lead. He wants to be aggressive there, so he's just trying to pump strike one in there. Strop is ready out there. If Ross Cup doesn't get Lynn, he'll probably get the call. Has not seen a lot of left-handed pitching this year, but he's done well. He's 5 out of 17. That's a 294 average. A couple of doubles. In his career, just a 214 hitter against left-handed pitching.
Lefty coming back on a 2-0 and a fastball to make it 2-1. Three and one.
Down 3, Lynn more than happy to take a walk in this situation.
Full 3-2. Tigers beat the Royals. Walk-off fashion. 6-5. Milwaukee.
I saw a little flinch there from Bruce Dreckman.
That'll be it for Ross Cup. Here comes Joe. And Chris Davis as the potential tying run. He will not get a chance to face the lefty.
Call slid off the outside corner.
So it's a Weber Sauces and Seasonings call to the pen. Why grill with anything else? Pedro Strop when we return. Call to the pen brings on Pedro Strop, who made 12 appearances through May 1st and did not allow a run, but his last 3 a different story. 2 innings combined, 6 hits, 3 walks, 6 runs allowed.
Yeah, a couple of losses, one to the Brewers on Sunday in Chicago, and then Monday to the Cardinals in St. Louis.
2 on with 2 down. As the Brewers are trying to rally late, Davis RBI single in the first, a strikeout in the 4th, and a home run off Hamill in the 6th.
In those last 3 outings for Strop, he's faced 15 batters and allowed 6 hits and 6 runs. Previous 27 batters faced, he did not allow a hit.
Wow. Driven to deep right. Soler is back on it, can't make the play. One hops the wall. Braun is in, and Lynn will be held at third. That is an RBI double. Big night for Davis. Almost single-handedly keeping the Brewers in this game. He's knocked in all 3 of their runs.
Soler maybe had time to take one more step before leaving his feet to try to make a play on this ball, but not an easy chance at all. Another well hit ball by Davis. I don't know that Soler could have played it any differently. This is where you really got to battle it. Strop obviously have been so dominant, and he's been nicked up here in 3 consecutive appearances. Confidence has to be shaken a little bit.
And a single here could tie the game. Here's Parra. 1 for 3. 2nd and 3rd. Ball 1.
Parra had a very nice series in Chicago last weekend.
Block there. Now they're just going to intentionally walk Parra with Maldonado on deck. already used Centeno, the backup catcher, so you know you're going to get this matchup, righty-righty. And doesn't have another lefty anyway.
Kind of slow him down a little bit. Yeah, they've got a couple guys with pretty good resumes over there, Carlos Gomez and Ramos Ramirez. But somebody's got to catch.
Right. Joel took out Hamill after 7 innings, 91 pitches. And maybe some people saying you got to let him go 8. Number one, you got to be able to hold a 3-run lead. Your bullpen's got to do that. And number two, Joe knows this, and it may start to affect his moves here down the road because that bridge has not been working very well. Bases loaded. Ball 1 low to Maldonado.
Yeah, it's one of those chicken and egg things, I think, for a manager sometimes. If you don't use a pitcher who's accustomed to pitching in a certain situation, you're a little afraid that maybe you're going to nick his confidence even more. At some point, if the guy doesn't perform, you have to be willing to change the formula.
Out of third. They could not close the deal Monday and Tuesday in St. Louis. They did the job Wednesday.
Well, that's the thing, too, for these late inning relievers who are called upon to protect leads. When they pitch poorly, it's pretty traumatic. If you're a middle guy and you come in with a game your team's already losing 5-2 and you give up a run or two, nobody really thinks that much about it. But coughing up leads late, that tends to reverberate through the clubhouse. Kind of lingers for a while.
This feels like a game that should be in the bag the way the Cubs have played tonight, but all of a sudden it's tight here late. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
That's something Maldonado does a lot, swing and miss. He struck out in 30% of his plate appearances coming into this ball game. Twice more tonight, or once more tonight. So here you go. The old adage is you don't want to go 3-2 because then you got runners in motion on the 3-2 pitch. By the same token, the scouting report probably tells you to stay out of the zone. He'll chase that slider.
Swing and a miss. So he does escape. The run charts to Ross Cup. And he will go to the 9th. It's 5-3 Cubs. Game changer. Dexter Fowler 2 pitches in with a home run. Anthony Rizzo, long leadoff home run in the fourth. Later that inning, Jorge Soler to center. Pedro Strop with a big strikeout. And the bases loaded to get out of the eighth with limited damage. So 5-3 Cubs as we play tonight. Brandon Kinsler just added to the Brewers bullpen, selected from AAA Colorado Springs. He takes the roster spot of right-hander Rob Wooten, who was optioned.
I've seen a fair bit of Kinsler over the years. You look at his major league career, 26 ERA. Not a big strikeout guy. Throws a lot of sliders. And 23 strikeouts in this ball game. Obviously, none bigger than the one Strop just got to end the Brewer eighth.
Kinsler against Castro. One and one. This is a guy credited scooping ice cream as part of his rehab from shoulder surgery.
Down in the zone with sinkers here. He's been a ground ball pitcher in his career for the most part. Didn't he drive like a limo for a time too?
Yeah, he sold tickets for the Winnipeg Gold Eyes, an Indy team. Limo driver at the Wynn Hotel in Vegas. His dog Bo was the best man at his wedding.
Seems like he should be left-handed.
Maybe he is, and nobody told him. Castro, deep to left, out of here, 6-3.
I get the sense he's been trying for that for a while. Kinsler gave him one he could turn on. Wow. Fourth home run of the night for the Cubs. Number 3 for Castro on the season. Blow the bubble, hit the home run, go for a nice easy jog around the bases. Here's your forward home run replay. One powerful swing from Starlin Castro. Jeepa. Had to feel good. He has not been driving the ball of late. Saw him frustrated in the dugout earlier in the game after that strikeout in the fourth.
Oh, 2 to Coghlan.
Matt Caesar on deck to hit for Strop. Rondon ready to go in the bullpen.
Pulled to right, foul. Still a safe spot at the moment for Hector Rondon. With a 3-run lead. You see Lester Strode going over the scouting report. Here's how you get this guy out. and a miss, strike 3. If you DVR'd the Bulls game and you don't want to know the result, hold your hands over your ears for a second, or just go nah, 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 nah. Derrick Rose banked in a 3-pointer at the buzzer to beat the Cavs tonight. What a finish.
Did he call bank?
Does it matter? I'm guessing not. So they're up 2-1 in that best of 7. All right, you may listen again if you DVR'd it. That's Caesar pinch hitting. Strop. Little low. 3-0. Congrats to the Blackhawks. They held off a late rally by the Wild last night, swept Minnesota, so they'll await the winner of the Ducks and Flames. Start their series at some point next week. It'll be the Western Conference Finals.
What a finish that was last night.
Oh my goodness.
Could you imagine if that was a game 7?
Kinsler bangs it down and gets Caesar. Caps lost in OT tonight.
What's that series now?
3-2, right? Caps.
See if Russell can keep that hitting streak going.
Yeah. 0 for 3.
And run.
Run, Addison, run. And he'll get it. And he's going to try for second. And he'll make second base on what should be a single and an error to get that hit streak to 11. And he's going to take off for third. Nobody was paying attention.
Looks familiar. Cubs had a play like that in St. Louis the other day. Well, good job. Man. Didn't do a whole lot. Just a little slow roller down the third base line, but good enough to keep that hitting streak going.
I'm guessing single E5, E3.
Yeah.
Was it Lind who made the throw? No, it was Jeanette. E4. It wasn't his fault, though, was it? Nobody was looking.
He just fires it back into the middle of the diamond.
It was kind of his fault, but it was the other guys, too, for not noticing.
You thought they were playing pitcher's hand. And just throw it to the mound and everybody had to stop. 5v4 after the infield single.
So your new manager, what goes through your mind on that play? I mean, it's one thing when you're sitting in the booth, part of the front office, just kind of watching the game. But now you're in charge of these young men.
Yeah,
you sit there and go, they know.
I think a good manager addresses every mental mistake. A routine ground ball that gets booted, no, but any mental mistake, there should be a conversation, and it's doesn't have to be a an in your face kind of moment, more of a hey, What are we all thinking here? Who dropped the ball on that? Let's make sure we got everything covered. Jeanette probably should have just run that ball back into the infield.
He walked him.
I also feel like somebody should have been able to track it down before it rolled past third base. Russell was able to keep his hitting streak alive. See if Bryant can salvage his night. 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts so far. This actually is a pretty favorable matchup for Bryant. Looks like he handles that low ball pretty well. Sometimes has a hard time with the elevated fastball. That's not a big part of Kinsler's game plan.
First and third with 2 outs. Well, it's been a home run night, hasn't it? We've seen 4 by the Cubs. Here it is. Bounce to the shortstop. Segura, and the throw is just in time.
Wait a minute. Hang on.
Joe doesn't want anybody to leave the field yet.
Man, great effort, Bryant. Flying down the line.
Now Joe's going to challenge it. Why not? We're in the 9th. To buy a run. This is a 50-50 call. It's pretty easy to make if you're Joe Maddon.
Yeah, I think you make the call. I don't think it's going to be overturned based on what we've seen so far. I mean, if I'm charged with making this call, I lean safe, but I don't know if that's enough to overturn the call on the field.
That look right there might do it. I'm predicting hit. Saying safe, and they're going to make their decision pretty quickly, looks like.
It's like a game show. You know, Chris is standing out there first base wondering whether he won the prize or not.
And we'll be back. Find out who won.
Survey said.
I will say this, whether he's out or safe, the fact that a third baseman, as tall as he is, and a slugging third baseman, to be able to almost beat out or possibly beat out that ground ball is pretty impressive.
Big time impressive. That's probably been the most impressive thing about his game so far. I mean, the patience at the plate obviously has gotten our attention, but the base running, just the pure speed that he has, and also the heads-up base running that we've seen from him.
The umpires were looking at the big board and the replay they were showing, but these umpires do not make the call. It's now in the hands of the guys in New York.
It's there, like the foot is on the pillow before the ball is in the back of the mitt.
You're going to go with pillow, you got to go with leather, right? Safe.
It's a knock.
RBI infield hit for Chris Bryant.
He did indeed get something out of this night after tough first 4 plate appearances. Gets an RBI single on that ground ball.
I would not say Segura was nonchalant about it, but It wasn't as if Dexter Fowler was running, and I think Chris Bryant will build a reputation for a guy. You can't dilly-dally at all if you're an infielder.
If there were a third base Olympics, would he win the sprint? I think he would, right? I'm trying to think of another third baseman who can really run.
Sure. See, I mean, there's not the urgency you normally would see.
Not with that speed. I mean, that's what he thinks is a routine ground ball to me, and I'm going to throw him out. And Bryant has shown the ability to make that routine not routine. I think advanced scouts are down there right now writing "Don't dilly-dally."
Almost right to the shortstop. Segura will get Bryant this time. The Cubs score 2 insurance runs. And we will see Rondon not a safe spot as he'll come in with a 4-run lead. Cubs leading now 7-3.
Hector 1-0 with a 150, 6 saves and 7 tries. This is his second appearance on the road trip. Just a couple of days ago in St. Louis. A scoreless inning, allowed a hit.
Caesar stays in and plays left. Coghlan. Leon Herrera. Jason Rogers on deck to pinch hit. Fastball high. Ball 1. In there at 96. Ball and a strike. McGee, former Brewer, former Cub, former Marlin, has homered against one of his ex-teams. A grand slam off Jarrett Cozart, and the Giants have a 4-0 lead in the top of the 3rd. Behind Tim Lincecum, who's off to a good start.
Yeah, Lincecum's been pitching well.
ERA of 2.40 through 5 starts going into tonight.
And it's a big swing of the bat for Casey McGee because he hasn't done a whole lot out there. He's brought in to replace Kung Fu Panda, who went to the Red Sox.
Hector from the wind and a leadoff walk.
Madden hoping for a no drama, quick, efficient ninth inning here for Rondon with his 4-run lead. Don't always get what you want, but still a pretty comfortable situation. You just don't want him to expend too much energy, throw a whole bunch of pitches here trying to finish off this inning. Certainly not been overworked of late. This is just his second appearance in a week.
It's a pinch hitter, Rogers. 3 for 9 in this spot. $38,283, the paid crowd tonight. A few of those fans have left. Most of the Cub fans, however, have remained. Castro, nice play. Russell will not make a throw, so they get the lead runner. One out.
Starling's been better moving to his right this year. Does a nice job scrambling over, getting in front of that one, and then unloading over to Russell.
I don't know if Montero loved how Hector responded to that pitch. I don't know if I did either.
Yeah, looks like something's a little,
don't like that.
A little uncomfortable out there. Yeah.
Something's not right.
Yeah, Montero's on it. He's going to go out and have a talk. Everybody in the dugout on high alert.
I don't know if we can see the previous pitch. This is that's the last one.
They're just cutting that ball off, not finishing it. I mean, it's 94 miles an hour, but Rondon sometimes is 98 miles an hour. It's like, maybe he just kind of fell out of it. You're right. It just didn't look right.
3-0. There's a strike.
For the no drama ninth.
Yeah, here comes Chris Bosio, former Brewer pitcher. Cubs pitching coach.
You notice Montero, those last two pitches, he didn't bother putting down any fingers. So he went out there first to check on Rondon. You okay? You feeling all right? You look a little funky those last two deliveries. Rondon must have reassured him that, yeah, physically I'm fine. So Montero said, all right, let's just start pumping fastballs over the heart of the plate. Justin Grimm rejoined the club in St. Louis. Made his season debut yesterday, 2/3 of an inning with a couple of strikeouts.
That's pretty easy now. Jeanette and then Braun, who would be the tying run if Jeanette gets on. So Rondon would not get a save tonight, but he's kind of creating a pseudo save opportunity with the 2 walks.
You cannot pitch your way into a save situation, but yeah, it feels like that now, doesn't it?
Especially the way the ball has been jumping out of this ballpark tonight. Line to Soler. He hit it too far. 2 outs. Sitting here grooving pitches, but can't be careful here because Adam Lind is now on deck with his 6 home runs.
Ron last time jumped on a first pitch fastball from Roscoe, hit a double into the right center alley.
He drives this ball into the right field corner. If it's fair, it's gone, and it is a home run, and it's a 1-run ball game. 7-6.
2 pitches, 6 total bases his last 2 times to the plate. The 2-out double in the 8th. And now first pitch swinging again. Right down the right field line for a home run. Ford's getting their money's worth tonight. It's starting to feel like the Hawks game last night.
Yeah, they just got their first empty netter. So it's 7-6, 2 outs, and Lind takes strike 1.
Yeah, and whatever Lind's power is, stay away from it. Better low than go up above the hands. Down and away is usually a safe bet, and that's where Montero set up.
Back our way. So how about the Chris Bryant infield hit that he busted down the line for him and they asked for the review. That run looming rather large.
Play the whole game. You never know which run is going to beat you. You never know which run is going to be your club's margin of victory. You look back to the Brewers' sloppy play in that inning. You're also getting to third on the double error. 2 errors.
And just able to stay alive. Still 2-2. Into center, base hit. That'll bring up Davis, who's had a huge night. That'll be it for Lind. It'll be Hector Gomez to run for him.
Because Hector just doesn't look like he has the finish on his pitches here tonight. He's been their best hitter so far this year. And good swing of the bat on that fastball. They were playing no doubles, so held to a single. Davis has had a big night already.
0-1. Was the homer and the 3 RBI hits in this game, all coming with 2 outs for Davis. Rizzo holding on the runner. 2-0. The breaking balls to start this at bat. Nobody up in the bullpen. This inning belongs to Rondon. And again, he cannot get the save. Ground ball toward the hole. That's going to squeak through. Gomez is going to stop at second, already in scoring position. That is their 3rd straight 2-out hit. And there's some scrambling now in the bullpen.
And this ball not hit all that well. But well placed.
Mott and Koch, a couple of veterans. It won't take them long to get ready. And right now, Montero and Rizzo talking with Rondon, who's already made 26 laborious pitches here in this 9th inning.
Bryant playing no doubles there, was tight to the line. Otherwise, he probably makes a play on that ball. It's like reading a really good book, and then the last chapter just stinks.
Gerardo Parra. Strike 1. Cubs' only win on this road trip was of the variety, and trying for another one here tonight.
Yeah, it's one thing to lose leads. You have a 1-run lead early or something like that, but they lost 2 games in St. Louis where they had comfortable leads in the middle of the ball game.
One and one. The kick and the pitch. He went. Parra really upset. They appealed down to third. Dan Bellino made the call, and Parra can't believe it. He might have a beef, but that's not reviewable via replay. Borderline. Cubs will take it. 1-2.
He kept his hands out in front, but the barrel traveled a long way. Anybody knows Parra's weaknesses, it would be Montero, his longtime teammate in Arizona. He likes to swing the bat. He's only walked once all year. Doesn't play every day, but he's had 70+ plate appearances.
It doesn't feel like he's going to move the line for Maldonado. It'll be all or nothing here. The 2-2 from Rondon is shanked foul. Swing and a miss. Wow. Cubs win. I'll say it again. Cubs win.
Did they win or did they escape? A little of both, but it's a W. It goes in the right column.
He faced 8 men in the night. That's his only strikeout.